In this time of the pandemic, where COVID-19 has crippled the world economies, where our government has ordered nationwide shutdown, where hospitals are overwhelmed.
Shortly after, the unthinkable happened.
I was literally stunned and frozen.
And their religious leaders are proven to be frauds. Where do you go to get all your questions answered and to hear what God has to say about this matter? You can only find the answers in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA. We give you scriptural breakdowns of world events and the up and coming world war. We will show you in the Bible where the children of Israel were the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today would suffer slavery in Jamaica, Caribbean, North, Central, and South America, and other parts of the world. We will show you in the Bible where God said he would send plagues upon the earth before he frees people from this captivity.
The World Health Organization has declared coronavirus a global pandemic.
We will give you the true teaching of the Bible, precept upon precept. To learn more, subscribe today and call the number in the description for I.S.U.P.K. Jamaica. Shalom. All right. Clap it up, clap it up. All right, this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. All right. Commanding General YAHANNA is the man at the helm of the I.S.U.P.K. today. It's run by Commanding General YAHANNA. How shall we all shine to the brothers, Yahweh Shammah and Nathan Basham, shine to the sisters. Welcome to our Sunday afternoon scripture breakdown. All right, today we're delving into talk about a man in the scriptures who is God's sworn enemy. The man was the villain. The villain in the scriptures.
Yes, Mabasham Shabakta.
Mabasham Shabakata.
Very good enough.
I'm good.
War and more war.
War and more war. Not only that, war in the right places.
That's right. Yeah.
A lot of conflicts break out before that one, you know. But the two most Yabashim Shabakata.
Yabashim Shabakata.
All right, so the two most significant ones in today's day, the one in Ukraine. The one in Ukraine serve its purpose, you know. It can't close now.
Nah. Right now, Zelensky may be saying, by like that funds we get, he ain't gonna get no more funds. So he like an underdog right now.
Yeah, and you have some of the senators in America now calling for election in Ukraine. It's best for him to read between the lines and realize that him either going have to negotiate now or step down.
Yeah.
If him not negotiating and him not stepping down, they're going to kill him.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I'm a Shafrakta.
Shalom, Yahweh Hashem, Yahshua Barakathum.
You see, why me say that war served its purpose, you know. That's the war that pulled back Russia to him Soviet Union ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, him go back and him now all him nuclear test sites and thing, him clean them up back and reoccupy them. Gone back in the North Pole and all that. So that's the war that the most I use as the hook to pull him back.
Yeah.
But this new front now, Israel not telling you everything, you know. Israel, them losing tanks and then losing men. They're not reporting that. If it wasn't for Hamas, blow up the tanks and release the video, then the world would know that he's actually losing tanks and losing men. But you know, back to Zelensky. Zelensky, you see, one of the things that happened that led the West start to probably doubt Zelensky and, you know, decide to drop him off. That attack, October 7th attack on the Israelis by Hamas, they discovered that the weapons that they used were weapons that was donated to Ukraine.
Yeah.
So weapons donated to Ukraine and it end up all the way over there. So in Hamas hand. So, and then one news brought this out that since the attack, Zelensky was trying to call Netanyahu.
Right.
Netanyahu not answering him.
Why?
You know, he was trying to call him, you know, like for whatever reason. Well, everybody, all the leaders then call him and sympathize with him and thing. But when him see Zelensky nobody answer. Because they realize a lot of the weapon will lick them up come from out as but here with the twist now when Ukraine put on it. Ukraine say is Russia set them up because his weapons, those that were confiscated while them attack Ukraine and they end up in the hands of the Russians. Say it's the Russians who gave those weapons to Hamas. You say, oh, our propaganda is dangerous, man. So let us put around the blame back for Russia.
Yeah. Somebody had to get the blame.
Yes. And then what is going to make it look, could make it look real now is Russia never called Netanyahu until 10 days after it happened. Yeah. Russia never called them and, you know, sympathize until 10 days after. So they said, no, that's a diplomatic snub.
Yeah.
That move is a diplomatic move.
Yeah.
So, you know, the propagandas of war is serious.
Yeah.
It's only we don't understand that war is fought on many fronts. You know, blacks, Hispanics, and Native American. They're living in the war zone and they still think it's peace.
Right.
They take we take the happenings of war for why I just leave it to this, you know. Yeah, but I know, so
Yeah, because again, when you go back and you read, as you say, you read the book of Maccabees, and you watch that same thing playing off. You know, even wars amongst themselves. You know, everybody fighting for that seat of power, and again, Israel in the mix, always again in the middle of everybody now. And now, when they realize that, hey, they're trying to bring Israel now to help them in the battle. Because now they look all the time again, they didn't believe in, as you said, the Most High God. But now they're looking for somebody who God could help them. And this is where we come in. Because why? We serve the true and living God. And all the idols in this time, they can't help them. Can't help them. Yeah.
exactly. But you know, I believe the West Wall was supposed to protect them, or that West Wall would them pray to every day, not help them. You see, Israel's strength in the scriptures, we Israelites' strength is the Most High.
That's right.
No weapons of war, no ally with any other nation. None of that is our strength. Our strength is the Most High. But with the Israeli, their strength is the Americans.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, America is their strength. But you know, we have to learn as a people to cry unto God and to look to God, not to any of these nations for any help. Because you see, I mean, with all that is happening, we had nothing to do with October 7th. October 7th didn't happen to us.
Right.
Right? We had nothing, we have no contact with Israelis, we have no contact with Hamas. The attack wasn't done to us, the attack wasn't done by us, we had nothing to do with it. And so we get drawn into it. It look away in this conflict between these two nations. The true Jews just get drawn into it.
Yeah.
We're not drawn into the conflict, but we get drawn into, well, I don't know if we would call it the conflict because we get attacks. More than one. So, you know, it's just God has never redeemed us without war. The true Israelite has never, you read the scriptures from Genesis all the way through, has never been redeemed without war. So, you know, the Most High put his sworn enemies right there in the land.
Right.
Because he vowed to destroy the nations to give us back our land. And he vowed to destroy his sworn enemy in the scriptures and to cut him off forever. And just say, all right, kill two birds with one stone. Put my sworn enemy in the land. So I can just destroy the nations from the land and destroy my sworn enemy at the same time.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's why I say we are living in interesting times. But you know, the other day I came across a video which, I say, hold on. This was what happened. It sounds convincing. The historical records sound convincing. Where the Americans had invaded Haiti, I think 1915. And that invasion was not it wasn't an invasion for war per se. Well, not physical war. It's an invasion to control Haiti's economy. You can find you can get into your thing there, Officer Kairon, your Facebook Messenger.
Caravan concert.
All right, look in the Facebook Messenger. You see, scroll through. It's not far back. You see a video.
I'm sending from you, sir.
Yeah, man, it was sent from me. When the Americans invaded Haiti and take away them gold, then take away them gold, which in those days, gold, a country's reserve was gold. The monetary reserve was gold. So the Haitians, they had gold, they had the banks, they had schools, they had hospital. It was a thriving a thriving Israelite community country in the Western Hemisphere.
Mm-hmm.
And the Americans then knock him. Now, you find it. Now, as to where they say that the Americans put the gold, that ties in with what we're talking about today. Talking about Amalek. All right, give a run on it there. Officer Kairon.
The U.S. invaded Haiti. Immediately, they seized all the gold from Haitian banks and transferred them to the National City Bank in New York. The U.S. also put all Haitian banks under control of American banks. The United States took control of Haiti and wrote them a new constitution, one written to benefit them. The new constitution allowed Americans to purchase Haitian lands easily. Haitians, known for not giving up without a fight, gathered in their masses and decided to fight against this new constitution. The most famous leader in this rebellion was Charlemagne Perrault. The U.S. Marines hunted down Perrault, executed him, and tied his body to a door and paraded it through the streets of Haiti. They even took photos of the hero's dead body and scattered thousands from a plane throughout the nation. The U.S. military took control and ruled Haiti as a colony for 20 years. This colonial rule led to neo-colonialism. In 1915, the U.S. invaded Haiti. Immediately,
you realize what I said, they put the money. Where? New York. Now, 1915, who run New York? Who was running New York 1950? Which set of people? 1915.
Slacky, sir, did you say 15 or 50?
15.
15.
Correct. Con.
The Irish.
The Irish probably control. They're the one who control the finances in New York.
Yes.
That was the Jewish man. They have always controlled the banking system in America and the world. So that attack on Haiti, which was an economic attack, so obviously it means, right, Trooper Alak Arman, yeah, it was a Jewish man who was running New York and still running New York. Yeah. And them get to the Comey as governor, you know, after COVID, you know. Yeah, the Jewish community did. If they take the wealth from the bank, put it in New York's bank. So it's not, well, New York, what them say, Reserve Bank, right?
Right.
So it's not by chance that New York economy can be one of the most powerful economy in the world, you know. It's about 5 states or so that makes America so powerful, you know. Washington, D.C. is one. New York is one. I think Georgia too. And California. And a couple more. And then the others now pitching a little thing. But New York is one of the most, if New York was a country, it would have been a financially strong country. Well, now we know why. So why we believe that warfare is only waged on, what would say now? Warfare is real, right? It's real that people actually invade the next country and take away their wealth.
Right.
It's not a make-believe thing. It's a real thing. In today's day, people think, make it, you know, because war has been not happening for so many years. Today's day, people make it seem as if, you know, when you hear that one country invade another country, wow, this is unbelievable. It's not unbelievable that that Hamas invaded the Israelis. It's war. And these Jewish man, they have been fighting a war from the day they went down, from 1940. Actually, they start fighting down there about 47, you know. 48, they became a state, but they went in before 1948 and actually did some fighting on the ground before 1948. So when 1948, when the United Nations came to the agreement to make them a state, they were actually on the ground there already in control. It's not like the UN vote and say, okay, give them a state, and then the Palestinians just back off. That's not what happened. They had went in there before and slaughtered probably hundreds of Palestinians. The Palestinians don't forget that. October 7th is not when their war started. Their war started long before that. October 7th was just a day that Hamas got lucky, so to speak. And from 1948, maybe it was the only time they got lucky. And then what happened now? 2.8 million people paid the price. Right? Now, when they did this to Haiti, and they put all their Asian gold in America's bank, put the Asian banks under America's control. Now they colonized Haiti for just 20 years. But obviously when them ceased the colonizing Haiti, they didn't return the gold.
Right.
They didn't give back the wealth.
Yeah, so like for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, you know, I traveled to the Dominican Republic already, and you know, work in the gold mine, right?
Right.
And just as you make it mention, it was when I tell you, like coming into the truth and seeing all of this, how it coming out now. Now you understand, and just like even the little clip that you're bringing out here now, since that time, you know, again, removing the wealth from, you know, from Haiti. Because remember, Haiti and Dominican Republic, as I say, they join together and they share a lot of wealth, because the amount of gold it have inside of it, you know, is like, you know, they're supposed to be well off. But now having one side, you know, as we say, at an unrest, and then next side feeling that at ease, you know, it always put a conflict between them. And the scripture say that, you know, they'll be joined close together, Simeon and Levi. And you know, they always had a conflict in between both of them because why? It was recorded. And this is why now when you really bring that out, is because now this is who, as we say, this oppressor is. Since from, as I say, since from that time, just as they make mention, he only going anyway that he know the true Jews is, who is blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, and he know that the Lord, since from that time, we always had that blessing. Because why? We always follow instructions. And knowing who he is, it must have some kind of wealthy. Must have some kind of wealthy. And again, this is why, as you see, when you really look at it, you see why Haiti in that civil unrest, even up to today. Because why? They want something, or they want the land. They didn't really care about the people, They just want the land. Because now, just like, as you say, the war that taking place in Israel and Gaza, the general brought it out on the ends and all. We see that all the amount of gas that was found down in the Gaza. Anytime Israel get a hand on that, it's like they don't need no support from no other these country or Arab country, because now they can produce their own oil and gas. And you see, this is who this as you say this thief is, because who he is. Always, trying to go in nice and then thief everything. Yeah, so like, yeah.
Right. His words being smooth like butter. So you can
Right.
imagine. And all right. The Egyptians, you remember last year, Passover for this year. You're not ending it. You remember the community that was advertised what the name of the community again in South Carolina there?
Oh gosh, yeah.
They used to say IT. Right. Now, there was several communities across America like that, where the blacks build their little district or their little community, and they were financially independent. Not independent from the rest of America because it's the US dollar they use, but they had their own economy where, just like any other community, just like the Jewish community, just like the Chinese community, the Chinese communities in America, what they call them again? Chinatowns. Just like Chinatown, just like the Indian community, just like any other communities in America, they had their own community. But the inspiration was Haiti. Yeah. Obviously, that ended when they crashed Haiti. Because there's no more inspiration there. Right? So when they invaded and crashed Haiti, black communities in America now have no more inspiration. Obviously, they did their intel work, their intelligence work, and they realized that the inspiration and probably some of the finances that the black communities would get came from Haiti, right? This is their military intelligence tell them that, So obviously, they were targeting black people.
Right.
So you want to tell me now why they invaded Haiti? Haiti was going communism. If it wasn't for this was the video, let me go back, let me research. I say, oh, wait. We didn't know this. Right? We know about the Haitian Revolution. But then, what they tell you now, God is punishing Haiti. God is punishing Haiti? Or was it America and the West punished Haiti? Because the French also extorted them.
Right.
Give them some serious extortion. But obviously they were surviving still until these things happen. So what they did after this now, when they come further down, 50s, 60s, they removed the gold standard from the American dollar. Google, when was the gold standard removed from the American dollar? Because that's one of the things now which send many countries, especially Israelite countries, just spiraling into poverty. Because money is now backed by gold. It's not backed by gold again. It's backed by inflation. Now, when the money was backed by gold, you know, gold was the money which was if your money was as strong as the gold that you have. So inflation was probably negligible. But you remove the gold standard, and this is what happened. 1933. So this was what? Less than 20 years. So the gold standard was all right. So what the video said now is that America invaded 1915 and they colonized Haiti for 20 years. That means when they removed the gold standard, Haiti was a colony to them. Hence, they removed the Haitian gold. Because Haiti was a thriving, independent black country, Israelite country around the side. Yeah. And they probably was, you would say they were rich, right? In that they didn't have to go and borrow money from no other country and things. They were holding them own basically. And they were able to finance black communities in the West, give them some kind of independence. There is no record of Haiti exporting any political idea. There was no political hegemony being exported by Haiti. So there was no need to trouble them that way. But they have an agenda. Who was it that removed the gold standard? This was the Amalekites, you know.
That's right.
Because since that time, all the US presidents who tried to bring back the gold standard end up being assassinated. Yep. All of them get assassinated. Once they try to stop, because there are certain ways that that Amalek makes his money, you know. And any powerhouse, you have to be really powerful to stop them. And in this modern days, there's none. Because really and truly, is the Most I have power over him. Only the Most I have power over him. If we go back to Bible days, when we were at war with them, anytime we defeated them is when the Most High was strong with us. Right? The Most High chose, in the time of Judges, the Most High chose warriors to go and fight other nations and defeat them. But when it comes to Amalek, the Most High have to be actually in the battle when it comes to Amalek. All right, we're going to put some scriptures on them before we go back to them again. All right, when did they start? Let's go to Genesis 36, 10 to 12.
God, oh God. Book of Genesis, chapter 36, verse 10. These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau. Reuel, the son of Bashamath, the wife of Esau.
Right? So right away you know that it's Esau's descendant. So the sons of Eliphaz, Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, Kenaz. Now, Teman was a strong one because Teman mentioned further down in the Bible. There's no mention of these became like tribes to Esau, you know. No, you know, be about no Oman, no Zepho, no Gatam, no. I think Kenaz was mentioned. Kenazites. Eliphaz, I think, mentioned too, but Teman was a strong one too. Next verse.
Kadawan Khan. And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, and Gatam, and Kenaz.
Next verse.
Kadawan Khan. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife.
All right. Now, things don't just get mentioned in the scriptures for no reason, or just for fun. Anything that's mentioned in the scriptures is there for, it's being recorded for a purpose. Excellent, good purpose too. Just like in the creation, I mean, the Genesis tell you about creation, it tell you about Adam, it tell you about Eve, it tell you about Cain, it tell you about Abel. It don't tell you about no other man. Until Cain killed Abel, and Cain got a nod, and then bam, Cain find a wife. And he said, hold on. Oh, there must have been other people. But they are of no importance to the record that God wanted to pass on. So once this is in the scripture, it's there for a purpose. Amalek, right? Because the Most High had his plan from day one. What he's going to do with the nations. Because after the flood, all nations turn from the Most High. Right? Until the time of Abraham. So even Abraham's people, who were the Hebrews, all of them turned from the Most High, except for Abraham. All right, give me Exodus 17 now. We're going to read
Khan.
16.
The book of Exodus, chapter 17, verse 8. Then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim.
Right. So here now, that same Amalek who was Esau's son is not, his descendants became known as Amalek. So now they come and fight with us. Continue.
Khan. And Moses said unto Joshua, choose us out men and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in mine hand.
Right. So in Genesis, we fought many nations in Genesis, you know. Isn't that so? Sorry, Exodus I should mean. We fought in Moses' time. Didn't we fight many nations that time?
So yes, so that came for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, the, look, when you really, as you say, when you really roll back and you really look, because now, as you said, at this point in time, now we come in a nation, and just as you make mention, in the early part, you know, our Genesis, when before we even became, you know, a nation, we was
Right.
under again the seed of Abraham, or as we
Right.
say, Abraham loins, or Abraham, the lineage of Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then coming up out of the Abraham, Adam, Salakia, Adam, under Adam loins, and you know, coming out from that loin, you know, from that time to Noah, then to Abraham. You see now at that time, as I say, coming out of the flood, you know, each and every nation, you know, being formulated or brought back, you know, into that existence. And as you know, Abraham was called, you know, and this is why again these records is real. So is our blueprint, you know, in knowing that past, you know, the present and the future, because now it's showing us everything that why I see everything that we see in it coming to pass, and like you know, outside of the truth, unless you know you ain't really bring yourself to the position where you know ask the Lord, you know, to really direct me the truth. Now you keep on following the customs and the culture, even like you know when like last night, you know, you're on the Black Watch, where it show you know the sister, you know, stroking again, this Edomite, yeah, you know, and taking hold as she baby, and that was real. Yeah, watch that take the whole show, and that show here because it was
Right.
so it's like you know we just looking at you know we mind just being swept away in this society easily, and everybody would know that, because now we only people that have compassion for everyone else.
Right.
Everyone don't have compassion for us, and this is why you know as you read, you know, we're reading in Exodus now, we seeing instructions given. Because why? The Most High God is, as we say, is our defender in any battle. And without, you know, that defender, then we open to, as we say, to be harmed real bad, or as we say, or brought down low. To the point where, you know, they want to extinct we, and the Most High hold on and say, nah, and flip the script. And flip the script.
Right.
Yeah. The lack, yeah.
Right. No, that lady, she have compassion on another race.
Mm.
Now, we have heard of other nations who adopted black babies,
Mm.
even in America.
Mm-hmm.
But they generally go to Africa for that.
Mm-hmm.
They generally go into Africa to adopt a black baby rather than to say we're adopting a black baby from the woods of America.
Mm.
Yeah. Not normally it's a black African. Right. So I mean compassion is the most I know what he's doing now. That's why I'm choose we say all right. This is the one to put over everybody else. Because he shows love to everyone else. You understand? So is God just to choose us as just as we can think as humans? Right? His actions are supreme. His actions are holy. Why? No, this is how you hear them other nations are say, some people are saying, so God to make so much people only choose one. And choose one to be above the others. Why? Because if you have 10 children, you know, and you have wealth, any wealth you're going to leave for these children, unless you're going to share and give. Give me a minute. There's a little disturbance. I'm getting all this. Give me a minute. Cancer. All right. In the meanwhile, just press up the like button. You understand? Share in a WhatsApp group. Share on your Facebook groups. You understand? Share around the classes so that, you know what I mean, everybody can learn what, you know what I mean, we teach here in the I.S.U.P.K. You understand? So the Officer Abada one is bringing out, you know what I mean, the treachery of Amalek, which we know today is the Jewish man. You understand? And this said Amalek, you know what I mean, of course, when Sir come back in, he might break down the scripture. But we can, in the meanwhile, we are going to also read this chapter in Exodus. Shalom, Officer Araya Allah.
Shalom, Madawani Alba Shimio Shai Brakatah. A quick question, sir, if I may.
Go ahead.
It's on topic, it's on subject, is what Officer Abadawan was talking about. Why did the Most High God, he says, so many people ask him the question, why did the Most High God have 18 nations, 18 children, and choose one as his favorite people? Because when we go to Deuteronomy 7 and 9, it explains that he had a chosen people because we were special, and we were holy, we were separate, but it doesn't actually tell us why he chose us. Would the answer to that question have anything to do with Hamashiach Yahushai? He had to choose the nation of people where his only begotten son came from. Would that be the correct answer?
No, he chose us because we have compassion on the other nations.
The luckiest, sir, if I may.
We have more compassion. Which nation out there have compassion for every single nation in the face of the earth? For the entire 18 nation. Tell me which one. Outside of
Israelite. Can you repeat that, sir? Can you repeat that, sir?
Outside of us, which nation have compassion for every single nation on the face of the earth?
None whatsoever, sir.
The Chinese, if it was left to the Chinese, they would blow the Indians into oblivion. Right? The Indians probably would do the same. They don't like the Chinese. Believe it or not, the white man don't like nobody. The Arabs, who the Arabs like? I don't know. Right? So
lucky, sir, if I may.
Yeah.
Then what is Genesis 12 and 3 talking about? I know this is before
the Israel. Hold a question. Let me finish the point I'm making. Now, that same woman who was mentioned last night in Blackwatch, she adopted another race child. Now, I mentioned that you have other races who have adopted another race child. are children of other races. But I challenge anybody to show me one other race who has adopted any of our children to the point of them, even if they have lost their finances. Because when she adopted that child, she showed love to that white baby at the expense of her job. And she was kicked out of her job for doing that. And what she ended up doing was to show more love to that child. Show me a next race who has done that. Right? Only we do anything like that. So we have compassion for the other nations. So who should rule the entire nations? The choice is clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a precept that goes aligned with the question that the brother had, that Officer Araya Baba Kwasha. It's Deuteronomy chapter 7. I will start at verse 7, and it says, "The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people." Verse 8, "Because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers." You understand? So basically, the main reason, of course, we are a compassionate people, and the Most High, you know what I mean, instill that in us, you know. See? But the Most High basically are keeping oath when we have with the forefathers. You understand? As the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondage from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Verse 9, "Know therefore that the Lord thy God, he is God, and the faithful God." You understand? The Most High faithful man. That's the thing. I don't really nothing special about we. Is more like the Most High is him. You understand? He
chose you because he made you special.
Right.
What that is saying is that the Most High didn't choose us because of any action of ourselves. He made a promise to Abraham, but Abraham had other sons. He had Ishmael, and there was Esau, and there is us. Right. And there are some other sons who Abraham had to as well. But why did he choose us above them other one? All right. If you are making something, and you remember you are the creator of, say, some hats, and there is one in which you put some special stitch to make it stronger, to make it more resilient to the work that you intend to do with these hats. Yeah, you can love that because you made it that way. Same thing with we. The Most High knew how he made us. He knew the compassion that he put in us. He knew how he did what is sown in us. Right? So it's not, and that wasn't sown in us because of any special action of us. The action was already done by Abraham. When Abraham turned from ungodliness and make a decision that he's going to follow God. Right. Even no, this woman's action not far from Abraham, in that she made a decision that I am going to take this baby, even if it costs me my job. It's another race. It would have been a wonderful story to hear that she chose one of. It was her. I don't know if that wouldn't even make the news if it was a black baby. He would make the news.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. But Abraham made the decision to choose God the living God above the idols. And what happened to him? He was kicked out of the country. He was kicked out of Mesopotamia. Because he did that, the Most High look at him and said, something special in this man. Now that hold on, whatever was special in Abraham, that's what came out in us. The Most High saw that in us. Now I'm saying, in choosing us to be over the other nation, you can see it in our actions that we are the ones who we should really choose. Because look at the world now. Who would die out if the world continue, if as it is? We would die out eventually. Because if it wasn't said we were so resilient, we would have died out already. Right? I have other nations who would take them, go into oblivion. But put us in charge. Who would we kill out? We wouldn't be killing out anybody. Because the Amalek who the Most High swear against, the Most High say he's going to do it. And it start because they are not reproducing as they should. Not we are not the ones who do that. We are not the ones who making them not reproducing. The Most High is making them not reproducing as the other nations would reproduce. So he is killing them out. When COVID started, it started with the Chinese, but you see how many of Esau descendants in kill out with it.
Right.
He only stopped because we start dying out and it's not really we in targeting. Right? So to answer your question, Christ, remember now, the Christ never come for the other nation, he come for we, to redeem we. So he didn't choose us because Christ was coming. Christ came because we fell. Now, if there was others, if we had men who had walked the straight and narrow, keep all the laws and do what Christ did, then you wouldn't have a Christ. Christ came to redeem us. If you didn't need redemption, he wouldn't have to send his son. It's right there in the story, you know. He sent his son to do what? To redeem you from sin. So if you could have lived in life without sin, he would need to redeem you. True or false?
So like you say, you're asking me, sir.
Anyone of the brothers?
Right.
God will find, sir. If I may, sir, I've got a precept on topic. I think it'd be better if you broke it down, though, sir. Ephesians 1:4. Shall I read it?
Go ahead.
God of mankind, Ephesians 1:4-5. According as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love. Verse 5. Having predestinated us into the adoption of children by Hamashiach Yahawashi to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will.
All right. And the question is?
The original question, sir, did he choose us because he needed to put Jesus in our nation or vice versa?
All right. You read, this is the passage that you read, right?
Kind, sir. Ephesians 1:4.
Oh, Ephesians what?
Ephesians 1:4, sir.
All right, bring up that for me, Officer Kayado.
I can read it again if you want, sir.
Yes.
Now, if you when you read it again, you remember it says something about adoption, ain't it?
Cardamom cancer.
All right. So what's the adoption?
The adoption is the son or the people that were being adopted or drafted, the chosen people.
Was drafted. What caused the adoption? It's verse 5 you're talking, right?
Yeah, disobedience, sir.
Having predestined us unto the adoption of children. Because we need to be real. Remember, I know we were a set of people who keep on, the most I use the word fornicating, spiritual fornication, meaning going after other idols. Until him just say, all right, yeah, well, come out of your house.
Cardamom
See,
cancer, disobedience.
after him decide to kick you out, the only way you can come back now is through Christ. True or false?
Cardamom cancer.
But if you were living a good life, he would need to kick you out. Would he?
La, sir.
All right. He wouldn't need to kick you out. So Christ would have served another purpose. If him send a son, it wouldn't be for your redemption of sin because you weren't sinning. You wouldn't be sinning. Right? You
Cardamom
understand what I'm
cancer.
saying? You
Cardamom
understand what
cancer.
I'm saying? You have to understand. Remember now, we're not talking about religion, you know. We're talking about living, how we used to live. And this is the fine line which our people keep treading on when it comes to Christ, the Bible, and our history. In that we take it we look at it religiously. It's not a religion.
That's right.
We were there, we were living. The thing there was set. But the most I know we were going to fall, you know. So that is why Christ was mentioned from a long time. Yeah, because remember from Moses, you know, realized we were a stiff-necked people. True.
Cardamom cancer.
It frees up.
True. He realized we were stiff-necked. So
Yeah. It frees up a bit. It frees up a bit.
All right, just
Yeah.
leave a second to come back in.
Yeah, so like for me.
Go ahead,
right?
sir.
Right, you know, and just as you know, he brought out and we use the example, you know, like with the as you say, use the example of the hat, because now again, in everything that we do, we always have a repetition to uphold. Even as we say, when we go in anything and we put we hand state, you know, we always want to leave a mark, as we say, to know that, hey, this is where, you know, as we say, card one do officer Rayala did, and this would, you know, remain as, you know, as something that would be, as we say, there. And when anybody pass or anyone passes, say, nah, this is this person repetition, or this is you know, this person work. And the
Right.
Most High God, since from the, as you say, from the beginning, as he made mention, as you know, when we read in Deuteronomy 7:7, he didn't choose us because we were few in number, because he had a repetition to uphold. And in creation, from the beginning of creation, we even see it, as the scripture says, in the beginning, the earth was without form and void. And you know, as we say, as the powers move through the earth, that was the repetition. And since from that time, even to today, that repetition still stand, and we is the people, as we say, in the earth right now, we hold that repetition. And this is why, you know, again, when we pick up these records, this is our records, because it was there to serve our purpose. That's why every time you read and you know the nation fall, we fall to the point where, you know, we could have been extinct. But you know what the Most High did? He always reserved that remnant, and that word's so important because why? That repetition. Even when you read in Ephesians and all, when you're bringing out here, it shows you that why he have a repetition to uphold. And throughout our records, it always stand. And this is why, again, we as a people, because our religion and it cloud with judgment, and the society, now we learn an evil thing. And this is why I give you always say Barakatah Yahweh Shai for command in general, Yana. Because now that remnant of black men, strong black men coming through in this time is as we say, we could understand, hey, brothers could always, you know, be conversing, because as we say, we don't have to be evil to one another, we don't have to be wicked to one another, we don't have to hate one another. But knowing what as we say, what love is why, because we father left instructions that always had a big brother who would uphold that repetition in everything that he do. And this is why, again, you know, as you know, about the one bringing out, it's so important. And again, the culture, as we say, or the repetition in the ISUPK is the repetition of our King Yahweh Shai, which, you know, demonstrate the repetition of the Most High. And this is why we could bring out this. Yes, Salakia.
That's right.
That's right. To close the point on your question, Officer Araya, you remember this parable? See if we can find it, Officer Kairon. The parable about the owner of the vineyard who sent he sent him servant. They didn't listen to the servant. They sent others. They didn't listen to them. And then he said, this is my son. Truly, they will listen to my son.
Gun.
What the parable name
again? This is Slakia.
That was called into the feast.
Is it Matthew 21?
Matthew 21?
Yeah.
I'll just check, sir. I'm not sure. It sounds familiar what you're talking about. It might be Matthew 21. I'm just checking, sir. Yes, but is it verse 33, sir? Matthew 21 and 33.
Right, the tenants.
The parable of the vineyard.
Hold on, let me see if it's it.
Matthew 21, verse 33, sir.
Yes. All right, read 33.
Cardamom Khan. The book of Matthew, chapter 21, verse 33. Here, another parable. There was a certain householder which planted a vineyard and hedged it round about, and digged it winepress in it, and built it tower, and let it out to husbandmen, and went into a far country.
Right. So this householder build up a vineyard, build up a nice place, and then him lease it out to people to other people to grow or to take care of it. So they are to pay a lease and make money. 34.
Cardamom Khan. And when the time of the fruit drew near, he sent his servants to his husbandmen, and they might receive the fruits of it.
Right. So the time come for them pay up now, because they would have been either selling the fruit and give the money, or get the fruits.
Right.
They are supposed to pay over. 35.
Karawan Khan. And the husbandman took his servants and beat one and killed another and stoned another.
All right. 36.
Karawan Khan. Again, he sent other servants more than the first, and they did unto them likewise.
All right. Now, what Christ is giving the parable of is who did the Most High choose to give service to his people first? The Levites, right?
Karawan Khan.
So they were the ones who weren't doing what they were supposed to do, and so on. Drop down to verse 37.
Karawan Khan. But last of all, he sent unto them his son, saying, they will reverence my son.
Right. So they are going to listen to my son. And they are going to do because this is my son.
Right.
But,
right.
What did they say? When
the husband... Salakia, sir.
Go on.
Karawan Khan. But when the husbandmen saw the son, they said among themselves, this is the heir. Come, let us kill him, and let us seize on his inheritance.
Right. So in other words, if they were doing what they were supposed to do, would the son need to come?
Lahasa.
Exactly. At some point, the son would have come because they realized that this is the heir. So the son would come in. But the purpose of him coming would not be the same as he has come for now. You understand what I'm saying?
Khan, sir.
All right. You see, when Christ had come in the time in Jerusalem there, we were supposed to get the kingdom of heaven, you know. You know that? The kingdom of heaven.
Can you repeat that, sir?
When Christ had come approximately almost 2,000 years ago, the kingdom of heaven was supposed to come. But was the people ready?
Lahasa.
Exactly. So now Christ now have to come and redeem of sins and go through this world of killing and all kind of something. Killing as in him die. The nation was in turmoil and things. What caused all those turmoil? What caused the turmoil which we were in when Christ came?
Our disobedience, sir.
Exactly. We weren't doing what we were supposed to do. So Christ now came to us. He never come to the world. So the world that is mentioned in the I think, what was it, Romans that you read? The first one that you asked the question is all Romans, right?
Where, just, sir?
The question, where you began the question from, was it Romans?
Sir, Ephesians.
Ephesians, right. We give them about that Officer Kayano.
Karawan Khan. The book of Ephesians, chapter 1, verse 4. According as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love.
All right. Now, if a Christian read this and him say the foundation of the world, he's going to tell you, he's going to carry back to Genesis and talk about creation. Right? But it didn't say the foundation of the earth. Now, all of us in UPK knows that there is world and there is earth. True or false?
Right.
God one come.
Exactly. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. So when he talk about foundation of the world, it says not talking about the earth, it's talking about the foundation of the Israelites. Having predestined us, he mentioned it, us, unto the adoption of children of Jesus to himself, right? According he had chosen us in him before the foundation of the world.
Right.
Right. So before, when the foundation of this world, the Israelite world, that was being formed, even from Egypt, when we were in captivity, or from the time of the original 12 sons of Jacob. But this world is not talking about the earth. It's talking about us, Israelites.
Right. Right.
That we should be holy, that is separate and without blame before in love. But were we without blame?
Laha.
Exactly. In other words, from the time that he had created us Israelites, we were created to be blameless. We were created to be the ones who would follow God.
Right.
Did we?
Laha, sir.
Exactly. So much so that I think it is Ezekiel when it said, surely I am going to be your God and you are going to be my people. And they tell you that we're going to look and say, but what is there to gain in idolatry? Throw all this idolatry thing and let's follow God. That is when now we come in on the path. Because the Most High want to give us the kingdom of heaven from a long time now. And if he had done so, what would have happened? We would have lost it.
Right.
Because the kingdom of heaven has to be run by somebody who not sinning. Or you're going to be punished by God and lose it. Which is why he's giving it to Christ, because Christ has proved that he can live a life without sin. And then Christ said, all right, tell you what, I am going to bring in some of you. Revelation tell you how much, 144,000, who's going to be sealed. Because what? It's a kingdom where that is built on obedience. Many of our people will tell you that they will have to buck them to learn. Not so in the kingdom of heaven. You don't need to buck no toe in the kingdom of heaven to learn. The most I say, sit down, you sit down. Him say, stand up, you stand up.
God one kinds. That's right. Like you said.
Which is why in the UPK we learn Canada one can. So you are given an order. Somebody you wrong, it's Canada one can. You ask for explanation.
Right. Right.
So like you said, if I may.
Yeah, you may.
Yeah, that's heavy what you're talking about. I think I've got a precept in Matthew 28 and 18. What we were supposed to do with the other nations. And what you was just talking about, sir.
Okay.
You want me to get it?
If it's in line with what we're talking.
God one can, sir.
With Amalek too.
Well, it's why we had rulership over the kingdom. We were supposed to teach the other nations, the other 17 nations, but it talks about it in the 28th chapter in the book of Matthew, sir. All right, verse 18. And Jesus came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Verse 19. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit.
All right, hold on.
Hold on. That nation is not talking about the other nation.
Israel.
Israel. What become 12 nation. Not only had we become 12 nation, which was 12 tribes, we were also scattered into every single nation at that time. Even though there are Israelites who are Arabs.
Right.
Well, I mean, I see some black people up in Palestine, and I say, wait, there's so much black people up here. And trust me, them look like we. And then you see that in any of the news footage them?
Yes. Yeah. As you say, you can look through all them footage.
If you're answering.
All them footage and them.
So that again, sir.
No, I was saying the mic was muted. I was asking the question that I see in some of the news footage in Palestine, the Gaza. You have some black people who look like we are run up and down, bomb and drop on them too.
None.
Which means that there are Israelites there. Also, I see some blacks in the Israeli army that look like me too. So it's in the same way. This one is talking about us being in all the nations. You have to go into these nations to find them. That was what Christ was. Verse what you were reading again?
Salakia, Ephesians or Matthew, sir?
Give me
Matthew.
The one that you have about go to all nations.
28 and
okay,
19.
Matthew chapter 28, verse. We're at verse 20, but I started at verse 18.
All right, and Jesus came and spake unto them, saying, all power given unto me in heaven and earth. Go ye therefore, teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. All right, so where he was sending them to teach all nations, that is the same thing that he was doing while he was with them. This was when he was departing. But while he was with them, what was he teaching them? To go not in the way of the Gentile. Yeah. So all nation here now, them have to know, because what happened at this time? They now have to go into the isles of the Greeks, who was now under the Romans, and prophesying to the Israelites that were there. Now, in our time now, we have to go into all nations just the same. We are among those in Mexico. We are among those in, you name it. But who are we speaking to? Mexico have a lot of other races. A lot of white people live there. But are we speaking to Mexicans really? No, we're speaking to the tribe of Issachar. We're not prophesying to Mexicans. We just call these Issachar Mexicans. We're prophesying to Issachar.
Right.
Are we prophesying to Jamaicans? We're prophesying to Benjamites.
That's right.
So you are in the nation of Jamaica. Who are you prophesying to? Officer Sawapyala is in Trinidad. Who is he prophesying unto? The Trinidadians?
Benjamites.
You're not prophesying to Trinidadians. You have some whole heap of East Indian over there.
Asherites.
No, East Indian. You don't have a lot of East Indian over there. Elam.
Yeah, Elam.
And they are Trinidadians.
Elamites.
And they are Trinidadians, ain't they?
That's it. Right.
Yeah. But you're not prophesying to Trinidadians.
That's right.
To Benjamites. And nowadays
right.
they have a lot of what their name?
Asherites
over there. So in other words, he's prophesying to the 12 tribe,
right.
but he's in that nation. You know, in London, are you prophesying to Londoners or to English? No, you're prophesying to the 12 tribe. Yeah, you are there now.
Yes, Salakia, sir. If I may, not to bog the topic down, but I think I've got a precept, but I'm not 100% sure. In Micah 4:2, is it talking about the same thing in Micah 4:2 when he's talking about the nations will come up the mountain, will want to learn the laws, statutes, and commandments? It's in Micah 4:2. Is that a similar thing to Matthew 28:18?
All right, let me hear it. In Micah chapter 4.
Yeah, the book of Micah chapter 4 verse 2.
And many nations shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of God of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his path, for the law shall go forth from Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. All right. Now, this one is kind of twofold. Why is it twofold? Because when Christ returns, all them other nations going to have to follow Christ.
That's right.
But they won't be in any covenant with the Most High under Christ. They will be following us, really. They will be doing what we tell them to do. You understand? So, because it's in Revelation as well, no? Right? Where they have to come up to Jerusalem to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles. And anyone who don't come, he shall be, then no, any nation who don't come, no rain for them. So that shows that they will have to. Also, remember, even from the time of Moses, when we were given the law, it says, the strangers that are among you have to follow your laws. But, which means they can't cook pork in their household. They couldn't go sleep with a next man, woman, but they still couldn't go in the temple. You understand what I'm saying?
One can, sir. So Salaki, if I may, sir. So Micah 4:2 is talking about the other nations.
All right, sure. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established on the top of the mountain. You know that mountain is talking about government. Right? So right. Micah, this is chapter 4, is it?
Chapter 4, verse 2.
All right, read verse 1.
The book of Micah chapter 4 verse 1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it.
All right. Now, substitute, take out mountains and put government.
But in the last days it shall come to pass that the government of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the governments, and shall be exalted above the hills.
Hold on. What would that be saying? What is that
He's saying the government. He's saying the world. He's saying the government, sir.
Yeah, but what would it be saying? What is it saying that the government of the house of the Lord will be established on top of the other governments? What is it saying?
It's saying the house of David, the Israelites.
Right. Right. Would be what?
They will be the top. They will be the council, the head.
You'll be on top of the other governments. Who is on top of Jamaica government?
United Kingdom.
Well,
UK.
Yes, it's really UK, because America is a horn of the UK. Who is on top of Trinidad?
Would that be the UK as well, sir?
The US.
US.
Same UK as well.
All right. So in other words, whether you want to say UK or you want to say US, it is
Same
ESA.
people.
It is ESA that is being established on top of all our governments, from Mexico or wherever you want to go with the North American in the tribe of with the Gadites, all the way down to the southernmost tip of South America. ESA is on top of all of our governments. So it is not a far-fetched thing to believe that the Most High is going to flip the script. In other words, it's not a fairy tale. I mean, to them, hearing it, they go, that's fairy tale. But what I'm saying is that is what is happening now. It's just that it's not we that is there, but they are on top of all the other government. Why do you think they can do the Palestinian them this way? Because they are on top of the Palestinian government.
Right.
Why do you think Iran can sell oil as him want to? Why do you think Iran want to go into nuclear energy? Why him can't do it? Because Isa is on top of his government.
Right.
Why say the Africans can't do what they want? The Indians, you know, for when India want to build a nuclear power submarine and he can't get it, because Isa is on top of his government. As big as the Chinese might look, Isa is on top of their government.
Right.
So the Israelites will be the mountain of the house of the house of the Lord that it's talking about there would be us, the Israelites. So the governments, in other words, all right, when Christ say he promised you rulership, where do you think you're going to rule?
Lucky, can you repeat that, sir?
When Christ promised us rulership, what are you going to rule?
The new kingdom, sir.
You rule over the other nations. So in other words, they shall come up to Jerusalem, send them diplomat to Jerusalem to ask questions, to report, and so on. They do the same thing right today in Washington. Every single nation goes to Washington for some reason. The Chinese government sent, I don't think it was Xi Jinping who went, but I think they sent their foreign minister or something. Send somebody to Washington just the other day. So it's the same thing Micah here is talking about. And it shall be exalted above the hills. So those mountains are now become hill because they're not that great and powerful again. So the mountain are going to become hill. But of course, they read this, they're going to think it's talking about the physical mountain, the physical hill. That's not what it's talking about. So this is talking about rulership. So the next verse, yeah, it's we and the other nations, because what will we be teaching them? Don't eat bats, you will get coronavirus.
Right.
Don't eat pork, you're going to end up with diabetes and all kinds of sickness. Don't eat monkeys, you will end up with Ebola. Give me some other one. Give me some other one.
Don't eat crab.
Don't eat crab. What crab give? Same thing, diabetes and high blood pressure.
Make it upside, yeah.
In other words, we're going to teach them to follow dietary laws. We're going to teach them not to worship wood and stone. We're going to teach them the way of the Most High. Remember, that's what the scripture says. Even them who say they are Jews and are not, they are going to worship at your feet.
Right.
So, skip down to verse 2 again.
Cardamom Khan. The book of Micah, chapter 4, verse 2. And many nations shall come and say, Come, and let us go up to the mountains of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob, and we will teach us of his ways.
He will teach us.
And he will teach us of his ways, Salakia, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
All right, so our people is going to do the same thing, because when things start to get crunched, who are they eventually going to turn to? You in the UPK. You are going to teach them the way of the Most High. But the difference is that they will be able to come into the class because they are your people and they can share in the kingdom. After, the other nations will also come, but that is really when the most that will be after now we are set above them other nation.
Yes, it's like
hold on, this same thing that we're reading about here is the same thing where the little white stone which roll and roll and roll and so on. Everything time. Yeah, yes, Officer Sawa.
Yeah, and because as I say, we're saying on point two, and again, and as we said, the word mountain mean government, and any government that running, this is why Christ's government will be the, as you say, the ultimate government, because now what we're going to do, we're going to rule the earth, not just as we say when we read, we hear the word world, and we're going to rule the earth. So now, as I say, we're going to go into all them nations and make sure that wherever is passed down, just as it say, for the laws shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. All instructions coming out from there. So now when we go amongst these nations and them, we're going to make sure that, as I say, they ain't putting nothing nasty in them out.
Right.
As I say, they ain't holding down that sign in the corner and try to, as we say, to commit that evil act. So now every instruction coming out from, as I say, from this government. And this is why, again, when with that 144,000 that they make mention, these is men that, as I say, when them instruction pass, I no joke with that. As you miss, it have a punishment for it. And that how strict and how, as you say, how right it's supposed to be, because why? That plague ain't getting out. That plague ain't getting out at all. Because every as we say, act, as we say, of unrighteousness is a plague. And this is why, again, it make mention that, hey, everything going to be coming from this government. This government go run the earth. And this is why, again, as the brother making mention, it's important. Because why it's important? Because now you knowing who you is, and understanding your position in the society, and knowing that, hey, as I say, the bloodline you come from, just as I say the topic, we ain't come from that bloodline of Amalek, because now what Amalek doing? Amalek had nothing right in them. Amalek only want to destroy. As the scripture say, a thief come to kill, steal, and destroy. That's who he is. he are nothing right in him. All he only want to do, as you say, is try and, as you say, suck up all we can suck up in the meantime. Yeah, so like,
Right.
Exactly, because you go have to now teach them other nations, so you better learn. The onus is now on you. First, you're going to be teaching your people.
Right.
That's what we're doing now. That's what fishing is about. You bring them in, you teach them. And when Christ returns, you will go have to teach them other nations. You're going to teach them about the laws of God. That's what they're going to follow. They are not going to be keeping Christmas and eating ham.
That's right.
They are not going to be having LG. They're not going to be having the alphabet march. Right? They won't be fighting them one another. That's why I said they shall study war no more.
Right.
All that is going to change.
Right.
Right? Who is going to do it? You. You think God is going to come down here and do it? No. You are going to do it. Under Christ. We're going to report to Christ. So them nation, them not going to interface with Christ. We're going to interface with Christ.
Right.
Yeah. And then we interface with the nations. Tell them what to do, what not to do.
That's right.
Hey, you stop destroying the earth. Stop oppressing each other. Any oppression must be we
it's
doing
okay, kind. It's okay, real kind.
Yeah. So that's us. We teaching them. But what it is saying here in Micah is like they are going to also be making the decision that, you know, it's better we follow these people, you know. I think I heard mention it since week. I think it was Captain Mashak. I don't remember who was saying that them same nation are going to start. When that right time comes, they are not going to be listening to their own leaders. I said, better we follow these people.
Yeah.
And you know, them same one going to come and say, hey, but we can do this and we can do that. And we're not listen to you. We're not follow you. Better we follow these people. Yeah, because they are going to realize that what we are doing is righteous. We're not preaching war to them. We're not trying to sell arms to them. America encourages conflicts because they make money in arms sale. If you're in the ham business, Christmas is very important to you. If you are in the manufacturing of weapons, war is very important to you. All right, drop me down to give me 1 Samuel 15. Even Amalek. 1 Samuel 15. All right.
1 Samuel 15. Card one con.
Well, they're going to tell you where to start. Read verse 2.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 15, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt.
Right, so Amalek attacked us when we came out of Egypt. All right, drop down to verse 7.
And Saul smote the Amalekites. Salakia, and Saul smote the Amalekites and Hivelah until thou comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt.
Right. So him hunt them down, kill them, war. The Most High sent him to utterly destroy Amalek. Now, of course, we know that he did not. Read verse 9.
God won't come. But Saul and people spared Agag, and the best of the sheep, and of the oxen, and of the fatlings, and the lambs, Salakia, and the fatlings, and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them, but everything that was vile and refused, that they destroyed utterly.
So they did not utterly destroy Amalek. So Amalek was still around. But you know what Amalek did after? Amalek dissolved within the other tribes of Esau as well. Give me Obadiah 1.
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1.
All right, hold on. Before you read that, give me Exodus 17 and 16.
The book of Exodus, chapter 17 and verse 16. For he said, because the Lord hath sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation.
Right, so that's the only nation the Most High swears him go war from generation to generation. All right, Numbers 24 and 20.
The book of Numbers, chapter 24, verse 20. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever.
His latter end shall be that he perish forever. So this was Balaam, who somebody had gone to curse us. And what the Most High intercept and make Balaam bless us rather than curse us. And in that blessing us, this came out, that Amalek, his latter end shall be that he perish forever. All right, go to Obadiah now. So the Most High has sworn to wipe him out, but him not wipe him out yet.
Which verse do you want, other one?
All right, read 8, 9, 10.
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 8. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau?
Right. So here now I'm talking about Esau, because Amalek is within Esau. Next verse.
And thy mighty men, O Taman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
And 10.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall come over thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
Now, by the time Obadiah was written in it, the Most High was still talking about the violence that he did for us, the violence that he did against us. In that him attack we, and he keep on attacking us, and he has no respect for God. He has no fear for God.
Right.
All right. 14.
Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape, neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress.
All right. All right, let's drop it down to 19. Let's tell you what gonna come now.
Khan. And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau.
Wait. 18.
You said 19, sir.
Yeah, man. 18, then 19.
Khan. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it.
Now, guess what? All of them doing what Amalek has been doing already. So the most I want to kill out all of them. Read on.
Khan, verse 19. And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the plain, the Philistines, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim, and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead.
All right. So who gonna put? The mount you're talking about, they have the south shall possess the mount of Esau. Well, you know that they are not going to die within a day, right? But for as long as they shall be around, who is going to possess their government? They have the south,
right,
which is some Israelites. So they won't even be allowed to have even government. They can't govern. They are going to perform so bad in these wars that are coming up that the most I say, yeah, it's best you don't even govern none at all. And guess who else is going to be saying that? Their own people. You see how quick America send a nuclear submarine go up there?
Aye.
You see how quick there's a nuclear submarine sent to the Middle East. Right? Why do you think a nuclear submarine go up there? Rather than if it come to the point where they are coming up against the Israelis, somebody going to get nuked. Your mic muting Officer Kaidwan if you're saying something.
La, sir. I just said can.
Okay. Yeah, if it reaches stage where they see Israel is going to lose out, maybe not necessarily lose Gaza, but now being attacked within their land. For instance, Tel Aviv, especially Tel Aviv, somebody's going to get nuked.
Right.
That's where it's at now. And they didn't even wait until a couple of days. Quick. A Ohio-class submarine. Now everybody know that that's a nuclear-capable submarine. They might tell about it to carry how many long-range missile and something. They don't tell about the nukes that are there. I hear there's a summit which was hosted by the Saudis, and I was listening to the speech from the Iranian president. He mentioned something about 7 nukes being pointed at Gaza, which I don't know. Gaza is too close to them for them to really nuke Gaza, but of course a tactical nuclear weapon could drop down there. The little fallout that would come from it, they can deal with that. Even if it kills some of their people, it won't kill a lot of their own people. But it's going to send a message because what? This nuclear weapon makes them be godlike.
Right.
And that is what they want. They want to appear to the nations as being godlike. So if they have to use the nukes, they are going to use it. And guess what? It's going to be used. Even if they walk back this conflict, that is only giving Hamas preparation time to carry out a better attack in the future. And that is the same thing that I am saying is the same thing the Israelis are saying, which is why they're not even, you realize they're not even listening to America. You know, when Joe Biden and the other brother, they've been, when you know, the other Secretary of State,
Lincoln.
Yes. You know, they are making America look bad. There's never been any conflict on this earth that has killed so many children in any one conflict. Probably if you add up the children that die in Iraq and Afghanistan, it probably still don't come to the amount that they kill in Gaza. And guess what? The one in Gaza is ongoing, which means more children are going to die. But the Most High have something for them. Because the Most High is swearing that he is going to wipe them out. All right. I was going to touch something from the 13th tribe, but I don't think I need to touch that. Get the picture. They are going to try to do. They are going to do some things which, because as it look now, Hamas has released some footage showing how they're clapping up them tanks and things. And they're not even using any. It's not even any. Just a simple thing there, rocket thing there. Well, maybe they're gonna come out now with better armored tanks. I don't know. But those rockets that they are using, they look powerful because when they lick the tank goes up in flame. Right, trust me, some serious things, some serious happenings is in the pipeline, some serious happenings is been happening, and some serious happening is really going to take place. But you know, in all this, who is going to be victorious? Who is going to be victorious?
Right.
There's only one other. I've never. I don't know about no other conflict will happen where another nation who is totally void, who is total, have nothing to do with the conflict being called up like how we are being called up. Jog me memory. So if you can give me one instance with some other past conflict with that anything like this that has happened.
Yeah, I find that.
And trust me.
So, what's your question? Repeat question.
I was saying if any you could jog my memory and remind me of any past conflict which two nations or two groups in fighting and a third one being called on and attacked the way that we are in this conflict. And I mean, to the magnitude of this conflict, this is not a small conflict. This is serious international conflict. And the two groups have become so targeted that our generals now make the decision. Say, you know, it's best we. But then again, this day has been spoken of even before the corona time, which shut down the camps. We know that there will be a time that times will come in the future where we just not going to be going out to camp. Not that we don't want to go out, but the Most High is working. We go have to sit down, watch him work until if him ready for you to come out again. You get me? But fishing still have to go on.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
That is why,
like
hold on, that is why we are still so strong online. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I'll be speaking the same thing. It's just I say I want to jump here before now, but it's the same thing I'm going to say now. Because as we say, while the Mosai, doing, that part, as we say, the men here inside the I.S.U.P.K under Command General YAHANNA, we still at work. This is where we are right now. So brothers and sisters may be viewing online, Mosai and Christ to that. But again, we always say that, pray that the Lord bring them into the truth and, open up their mind that they could really see and really, come back, to these laws, statutes, and commandments, come back to these instructions. Because now, as you say, in these last days, this is what will be a stability. This is what will help you. Because now, outside of this, conflict, as you say, real conflict. Yeah, so that.
Yeah. I mean, the last thing that shut us down was coronavirus.
Right.
Now, what is shutting us down? Conflict.
Salakia, sir. To your question, the question you asked.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question, sir? Baba Kasha.
I said, tell me about some past conflict between two nations or two groups of people which bring in a third person or a third group which had nothing to do with the conflict, but they were getting attacked because of the conflict.
Sir, the only thing I can reflect and remember, really, but it's all the same nation because Esau has many European nations that are one nation, the seed of Esau. I remember in 1939 when Germany invaded Poland, World War II hadn't started, but 2 days after the invasion of Poland, Britain and France stuck their nose in and declared war on Germany. So that's the only thing I can remember. But France and England are the same nation as Poland, the same people.
No, that one is France and England going to the defense of Poland. We did not try to defend the Palestinian. We did not try to defend the Israeli. We had nothing to do with it. That school in Philly was attacked, what, 3 times?
Khan. Yeah, I get you now, sir. Khan.
You in the UK, your camp was basically attacked.
Khan, sir. Yeah, Khan. We were rushed, sir.
Yeah. It's a good thing Commanding General YAHANNA teach the brothers there to defend themselves.
That's right.
Right? And, but they're lucky they weren't wearing purple because I'm sure your brothers would have clapped them.
Right.
Good for them that they weren't wearing purple because just the color alone would have triggered us off.
Right.
But, righteousness prevail because we see what is happening. We realize it's the Most High working. And guess what? We have been in the news Just like we pray for, open up the internet. So the internet not going to open and they say, oh, these righteous people who call themselves Hebrew Israelites has been attacked. No. This 8 group, this 8 group, so, you know, it's going to come out. It will come out because those who are reading the news, somebody is going to do their research and they're going to say, who have these 8 groups ever hated on? Who have they ever attacked? Hate is an action word, you know, just like love. So if we're going to be called a hate group, show us who we have taken the action of hate against. We have not even speak of hate against anybody.
Right.
If I am working and building my household, how can you be calling me hateful because I'm taking care of my household? You can't call me hateful for that. That's all we are doing, taking care of our household. Telling our people about their household. Yesterday I had an argument with, it was a Jake. We were talking, he was saying about, you know, the Bible, I will put you in a box and so on and so forth. And why, oh, God bigger than that, man. God this, God that. That's a virgin. The Bible has, the records in the Bible has never seek to tell you about any restrictions about God or put you in a box or to be even a religion. The instructions in the Bible is for one people only. When you read from Genesis all the way down to Revelation, it tells you about a set of people who were called Israelites. The Bible have nothing to do with the Chinaman. It have nothing to do with it. Tells you about them, but there's no instruction in it for them. There's no instruction there for Elam. There's no instruction in it for the Arabs. In other words, this Bible holds the record of a set of people who was living, being alive, running a country, having laws, making records. 500 years from now, somebody's going to come back and look at the records of Jamaica and say, oh, they used to drive on the left side of the road. They were predominantly Christians. They used to do this, they used to do that. But guess what? That record is specifically to Jamaicans who was living in Jamaica.
Right.
It has nothing to do with America. It has nothing to do with England. The laws that we have here in Jamaica is not telling you that when you go to England you should do this or you should do that. It's telling you how to live while you are in Jamaica. True or false?
Right.
And it's true for Trinidad and it's true for the UK. So why do people always think that the Bible is anything more than that? It's because of Rome, because of the Christian church. Right? The Bible is not a religious book. The Bible holds the records for some people who actually were alive and still alive. And it's the laws that these people live by. Now, if a next nation want to take it and try to live by it, we can't blame them. But don't tell me that, no, you're following the Bible, so your head is in a box. Untruth. So I draw an analogy to him, and we were driving on the road, and I said to him, look here. You come up on a line of traffic. I'm say, all right, you notice that you come up on the traffic and you stop. You didn't try to go around the line of traffic. Why? Because you are following the laws of the road in Jamaica. The laws of the road, there is a line of traffic. You wait in your line. You go on the next line and obstruct the next traffic coming the other way. What does that have to do? What does that, you following that law, does that negate you from doing other things? In other words, these laws and things, these laws that are in the Bible is not to say do this and do nothing else. It is just to say these are the things that you do not do. In other words, if you want to make a rocket and go and fly to the moon, you can. There's no law in the scripture that prevents you from doing that. Right? If you want to build an everlasting ship, put it on the ocean, you can. But people let it seem as if now, if you are following the Bible, then you cannot do things like that. Hence, you are in a box.
Right.
That's how stupid it is. All right. So, any questions, any comments? You can take off that Officer Kyle one.
Can.
Let's bring up the teacher for the class. All right. So we here in Jamaica, you know, the only thing we can do is just implore our brothers here in Jamaica, because we know what is coming. We know that what you are seeing happening, we know that you think it's way over there. You remember COVID? When COVID started in China and America, and we were here watching it on the news, it seemed far-fetched, didn't it? Yeah. Until you hear about the first case in coming in Jamaica and they shut down the entire country and say, oh, it's here. It's going to be the same thing with these wars. They are going to spread. Right? Now, if next year is America's election year, when Donald Trump is campaigning and say, if you want to stop World War III, then we should bring him back. We should put him in the seat of the presidency. That might be so. But one thing I'm sure that his presence will not stop is the race war. You're gonna have, it's gonna be open season on a nigga in this place, right? And they are going, why are you attacking me? I'm a Christian. I'm one of the good ones, right? Because they are not understanding the world. They are not living in the real world, as Commanding General YAHANNA would say.
Right.
That's what he taught us. The real world, that's what you see breaking out. The fantasy world,
that's right.
We all are one. That is fantasy. Well, we have to live in the real world. And we are telling you, our people, you better come and join the real world. Right? I saw a comment of Trooper Alak when we were talking about what the other nations won't be able to do. He said, no more illegal drugs. Yeah, exactly. So they won't be allowed to sell no more illegal drugs. And when we talk about legal drugs now, that is just medication. And guess what? They probably won't even be needing medication because the power of healing will be around.
Right.
Just like how Christ was able to touch a person and heal them, that's coming back. So, well, any comments or any Other questions?
Last, sir.
Yes, sir.
Officer
So,
Araya. All right, so I guess we can just close out with the Lord's Prayer. So with that, we pass the class over to Priest and Officer Araya Allah.
And clap it up for Officer Badawan. These are the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for a new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Ties, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21. Malachi 3 and 8 to 10. Means a tenth in the Hebrew. Ma'ayah Shara. Pay tithes, Israel. Pay your tithes. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest, not mandatory. Whatever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, the Feast of Hanukkah, the 7th of December, or the Feast of Dedication. Remind Akyam and Akwat to check the bulletin board in the hallway if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pant, headband, scarf. And with that, we're going to read the Lord's Prayer. First in the Hebrew, then in the English. Pray. We're going to turn and face the east. Labanoah. Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Kodash.
Kodash.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malakwatka.
Malaka.
Saba'ah.
Sabah.
Ratazaka.
Ratazaka.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Ba'arataza.
Rataza.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Ba'ashamayim.
Bashamayim.
Nathan Lanoah.
Lananawa.
Lacham.
Lakam.
Kal Yuwam.
Yawam.
Wasalak Lanoah.
Wasalaknawa.
Kawabwath Noah.
Kobatnawa.
Kasalak Noah.
Wasalaknawa.
Kawabwath Noah.
Kobatnawa.
Wala'ah.
Wala.
Babaya Noah.
Tabianawa.
Banasayawan.
Basawan.
Abal.
Abal.
Awashai Noah.
Oshainawa.
Mayan. Rai. Kaya.
Aya,
Laka,
Laka,
Hamalakwa,
Malakwat,
Waha Allah,
Wahala,
Wahasa Pa'aras,
Pataparat,
La'ai Walamiam,
Balamiam,
Aman.
Aman.
English. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh.
Our Father which art in
Our
heaven,
Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
thy kingdom come,
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts.
Give us this day our daily
Give us
bread,
this
and
day
forgive
our
us
daily bread, and forgive us our debts,
As we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our
as
debtors.
we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
And lead us not into temptation, but
Lead us
deliver
not
us from
into
evil.
temptation, but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom and the power.
For thine is the
For
kingdom
thine
and
is
the
the
power
kingdom, and the power,
And the glory.
and the glory,
and the glory,
Forever so be.
forever so be it.
forever, so be it. So, turn and face the teacher. We're going to give Officer Abban 1-1 courtesy salute. Men of Israel, I Mariam Shabbat. I Mariam Barak. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Barak Atah.
How about you, Mr. Cyber? Tom.
Yad Yamatah. So we're going to give the turn and face the sisters. We're going to give the sisters 1 courtesy salute. Men of Israel, I Mariam Shabbat. I Mariam Barak.
Yahweh Shema
Yahweh Shema Iladah Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Yad Yamatah. Class dismissed.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. Shalom.
Shalom, Mother One Yam. Yahweh Shai Barak Atah.
Hey, Officer Kayadwan, just take it out.
All right, yeah, man. All right, so shalom. All right, so remember to like, share, subscribe. You know what I mean? If you have a question, please leave it in the chat. And with that, shalom. Israel, this is Priest and Officer 500 Kayadwan out of I.S.U.P.K. Jamaica. And it's back again, the last 55th annual Passover being held this time in Durham, North Carolina. You understand? So make sure you be there. Then it will be held on April the 20th, 2024. So you have ample time to get yourself ready. Get everything in order so that you can attend the Passover. You understand? You are commanded to be there. If you are black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, which is the 12 tribes of Israel, you are commanded by the Most High to be there. So get yourself ready. Hosted by Commanding General YAHANNA, the man with the plan. You understand? Remember that. And with that,